don't claim to be the creator, but I'm a savior. I take the strange variables of human life and make something out of the crazy quilt that saves hundreds of lives.
How can somebody dare live outside of their comfort zone? Right now, I'm in a deep train of thought because honestly, I feel like some people like that feeling. And I want to know, how can one possess it? The biggest thing about being outside of your comfort zone is really, for many people, being seen. For myself, I remember one time during class, we were assigned a presentation. I know how much anxiety I had when it came to presenting in front of my class. I remember trying the hardest I can to not be in those situations. And it just ends up always happening because, everybody has to present in class. I usually, going into school that entire day, I constantly stress over it. I was thinking in my head while taking the bus to school, Chris, don't mess this up. Don't look like a loser out there. There's my classmates. They're going to judge me. Perception was low-key so big for me back then. And I was scared to, have the wrong move, take the wrong step because I didn't want to embarrass myself. Right as the bell rung for the start of that class, the teacher hops up and he just asks a question. Anybody volunteer to go first for the presentation? Before I start calling on people. I never want to go first. I don't care. Teachers sometimes say, hey, if you go first, it's much more relaxed. Their grading is much more relaxed than if you go and wait all the way to the end. That thing didn't faze me, man. That was not going to get me. I feel like that was a trick. So I never, ever volunteered to go first. I ended up sitting back, being very reserved. I knew that, after the volunteers went through, he would go by last name order, A through Z. As more and more people got up and presented their projects, I just was looking at everybody, and I was seeing some of these people were doing so well. I was genuinely terrified. This right here is an example of being out your comfort zone. And I was definitely out of my element at that current time. The last person before me, they finished up. They did a pretty good job as well. My inner self was just telling me, you're going to mess this up. No matter how hard you might have prepared, no matter how many times you went over your presentation, you're going to mess up. You're going to start mixing words together and start stuttering, and you're going to start sweating, and it's going to be a mess. It's like I wanted to see myself fail. When my name was called by the teacher, I got up out my seat. I start off my presentation like this. Hi, my name is Chris Simpson, and today I will talk to you about ... I'm not going to go through the whole presentation because it doesn't matter. Being able to work outside of your comfort zone is honestly a superpower. Dealing with yourself to the point where you won't let yourself fail because of your fear, that's a power. Having the faith to know that no matter what might happen, it will be okay. Oh yeah. Definitely believe that is the superpower. But at that current moment when you're out of your comfort zone, all you think about is how negative an experience this is right now. To be honest, if I had the ability to talk to my past self and give one piece of advice, it would really just be 3 words. It doesn't matter. Everything that I went through mentally in my head during times that I felt so scared. From the outside looking in, you gotta understand, it doesn't matter. If you think about how other people view you. And you're like, oh, I don't want people to look at me some sort of way. I don't want people to feel some sort of way because of what I said. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You'd rather put fear on a pedestal than really understand how great you are. Looking back at those times when I feel like I was gonna be an absolute mess and I thought that the fear would eat me up. Don't short sell yourself. You are all that and so much more. Knowing how I've been, knowing how I've grown up, the people that are around me, the people that prayed for me, the people that prayed with me, and honestly, the one who does it all for me, you gotta understand. Sometimes you just gotta know in your heart that you gotta take yourself out of the equation. You gotta remove yourself. You don't have to stay in a certain place. It's not about you. How do I tell you? How do I tell you? It is not about you. Remove yourself from everything you've got going on, man. It's bigger than you. I must continue to learn and live outside of my comfort zone. Because if I don't try, there will be no way in my entire life that I will ever progress. God is with us every step of the way, and He will not forsake us, for we have everything, and we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us.